Hello there, I'm Anthony from the Culture Cave. I'm going to be doing a very long-winded, scattershot video for my final thoughts on 1899. I really wanted to get a video up for you guys doing a sort of more condensed, well-produced theory video, which I've done in the past. I just ran out of time, so we're going to be doing it this way, unfortunately. I'm sure you'll still get something from the video. This is also me just putting down all my little thoughts, no matter how small, no matter how big, before the show comes out, just so I have a reference point for afterwards when I'm analyzing the show in more depth. So if I reference something, you guys know where it comes from, and stuff like that. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Before I do though, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be going through the show episode by episode, breaking it down with Conrad, and he will not have seen it before. So if you want to go through the show with fresh eyes after binging it, like I'm going to on Thursday and Friday, then this is the show for you. As well as that, I'm going to do lots of reviews, and I'm going to do breakdowns of my own. I'm also going to be recording my own thoughts after each episode, and then putting them together in a supercut for you, so that you can actually follow me through the show for the first time ever, which I think that'll be pretty fun too. So subscribe, there's plenty of stuff coming. Let's get into it. Alright, first on my rambling theories or thoughts is alchemy. So I've thought about alchemy quite a lot. Obviously there's the earth symbol everywhere, which is showing up all over the show. It's triangle central over here. Now I know that the triangles have been mentioned in the paper which was released at the premiere event. You know, I think that triangles are going to play a big important role. I think a lot of the time it's going to actually be the fact that different cultures, you know, think of a triangle meaning different things. Obviously, when we see the line through the triangle, we think Earth. As well as that, in the very middle here, you see the Philosopher's Stone. I have a lot of thoughts about the Philosopher's Stone. I was going to do a proper video about it. I will do after. I'm sure I'll still be able to do it after the show comes out. Because I think that the theme of immortality is quite present in this show. It seems to be from my own sort of, you know, analyzing or pre-analyzing of these materials that have been released. So the Philosopher's Stone. The reason why I'm sort of thinking about immortality is one thing. It's sort of been alluded to in other things which I'll talk about later. But also because I've been trying really hard to find what the center of this mural is. So the mural, which you can see in this image here, I've talked about it a lot. There's Hercules there. There's who we think is probably Nyx, two Greek mythological figures on the other side. And in the center, there is a triangle, upside down triangle, with another little triangle on the inside. I've zoomed in before. I'll not zoom in now because I just want to do a nice quick thing here. To me, it kind of looks like it could be the Philosopher's Stone. It also looks like it could be the All-Seeing Eye, which I've mentioned before as well. So there's lots of things going on in my head about these triangles. Obviously, the stone, we have the stone, right? We've got the stone there, this little triangle thing. Is that the Philosopher's Stone? I don't know. Could be. It's just something I'm keeping my eye on, okay? Now, why do I mention this anyway, though, is because this idea of immortality sort of comes through in a different character, which I wanted to talk about, and this was going to be actually my main theory video that I was going to do instead of this one, basically. I was going to do like a small, well-produced video on Ling Yi. Now, Ling Yi is a character who I'm very interested in because first of all, obviously, the actress is Chinese, and whenever we found out about this character, everyone was saying, well, she's actress Chinese, why is she dressed as a geisha? Then I did some research and found out that actually Chinese concubines dress very like geishas, and even geishas originally came from China, apparently, according to the internet. So then I was on my high horse thinking, you know what, this is actually just a Chinese character playing a Chinese concubine. But then in release materials, they have actually mentioned that she is a geisha. Now, I think that the fact that they've used the word geisha means that this character is actually concealing herself under the guise of being like a Japanese geisha, which is really interesting. I don't know anything about the politics of doing that, but I also think it'll make it for an interesting character, especially considering her and then Yukja are the only two sort of Eastern characters, I think. So that like they're from Asia, whereas I don't think anyone else is from that part of the world in the show as far as the release materials go anyway. So they're already an outsider, therefore potentially, especially in 1899, they'd be able to sort of, you know, fool everyone by pretending to be Japanese. So we'll see where that goes. We already know, we've been told everyone's wearing a mask. So this obviously, points to her mask. Now, why do I mention her? And the reason why I mention her is because I want to talk about a Chinese myth. And whenever I in my previous video, my theory breakdown, I mentioned this image at the end of the trailer where Chang'e. See, in my mind, I've been calling this character Chang'e because Chang'e is the mythological character that I want to talk about here. Ling Yi was seen, I thought it looked like ascending into this this sort of glowing circle. Obviously, this could just be going down the down into the whirlpool, but it looks like she's ascending, and therefore that made me think. Now, someone put in the comments of my video that this actually could be reference to Chang'e, and I didn't know anything about Chang'e, so I went and looked up Chang'e. So Chang'e was a beautiful woman who was married to the Lord Archer Ho Yi, who had shot down 9 of the 10 suns in the sky. And so as a reward, Ho Yi was given the elixir of life, or the elixir of immortality by the gods. Now that's where the immortality starts popping up again here. So the elixir of immortality. If half of the elixir was taken, then you gain immortality on Earth. But if the whole elixir is taken by someone, then they gain immortality but ascend to heaven. So one day, when alone with the elixir, Chang'e took the whole thing and began to ascend to the heavens. However, so Chang'e actually took the whole elixir, so therefore became immortal and started ascending to the heavens. But apparently Chang'e had already been banished from the heavens, and therefore banished from the heavens, and so takes refuge on the moon. So the idea is Chang'e is on the moon. So this image here kind of looks like it could be Chang'e ascending to the moon. So that's where some of my thoughts are here at the minute. Now, in some of the stories, it actually is that someone comes, an apprentice of Ho Yi comes and tries to steal the elixir, and that's why Chang'e has to take it. Now, this is really, really interesting to me because it means that potentially, I don't know if there's going to be literal immortality in this show, but it means that potentially when Chang'e goes out onto the boat like this is her having stolen something or having taken the whole thing when maybe she had agreed to do it with someone else, just like in the story. Maybe she's stolen something. As well as that, the idea of ascending to the moon or ascending through the heavens, we also see the character going through mist and going through fog, which could be like clouds ascending upwards. Okay, so we see this, and that sort of adds to the imagery there for me. As well as that, there's been a released quote which says, "We're not allowed to dream, and if we take what doesn't belong to us, our dreams turn into nightmares." And that's a quote attributed to Ling Yi according to the released poster here. So that is really interesting to me because I know that Chang'e is someone who took something that didn't belong to her, and that meant that instead of ascending to the heavens, she had to sort of live in this in-between world and took refuge on the moon. So therefore it turned into you could view it as turning into a nightmare for her. So potentially this symbolism here is going to be coming up in this Chang'e character. Chang'e character, there we go. So it's actually Ling Yi character. I keep saying Chang'e. Now, so that's some lots of stuff thrown at the wall there. Okay, lots of stuff thrown at the wall. I will say this, in the stories of Chang'e, she is accompanied by a rabbit, a little white rabbit. Well, it's called a jade rabbit, but apparently it's a type of jade which is white. Now, that's cool because it means that the main theme of the show, which we've sort of been hinted at, that the theme of the show is going to be Jefferson Airplane White Rabbit, which I'll talk about in a minute. So this white rabbit then is apparently, basically this white rabbit. Again, I'm not an expert on Chinese mythology. I know you thought I was, but I'm not. But apparently this white rabbit, jade rabbit, actually, creates the elixir of immortality. So actually makes the elixir of immortality, which is really cool because it means that another thing popping in about immortality, because I don't know if there's going to be a literal white rabbit, let's be honest, but the idea that the immortality is there The theme of immortality's there. And you've also got The White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane being the theme of the song, the show. Apparently that's the opening theme. That really, really interests me. And the idea of ascending to this other plane or this other the moon or whatever is cool, because basically in the released few videos on Instagram based on the I think it was when they were at the premiere in Berlin, they actually had lots of triangles on the way in to the to the building, so you had to walk through lots of triangles. But then when they were inside, there was a tube of circles, which really reminded me of this. So the light of the circle of the whirlpool. So I think that everything in this sort of the decor of this premiere seems to mean something. Okay, so you've got all the props, you've got lots of sets there. You're walking through triangles. I think it would be really, really weird. Really, really weird if they were like designing this event and they were like, right, let's have them walk through triangles as they're approaching, and then when they're inside they were like, what should we do for the inside, or should we just have like more triangles because that's the theme of the show? And then they were like, nah, let's just forget about the themes of the show, let's just have a circle tunnel with like loads of circle lights. That would be really weird to me. I think this circular light tunnel really means something. I know that in Alchemy the circle can mean spirit. Maybe it's becoming one with yourself. I don't know. Circles have so much symbolism. I think that this circle tunnel or going into a circle is going to be really important in the show. So I thought that was cool imagery. Remember I told you this is going to be a scattershot video? I bet you're understanding that now. Okay, so White Rabbit then. So let's talk about Jefferson Airplane, White Rabbit. Okay, so the lyrics. Now I'm going to go through the lyrics because I know, it's a bit tedious, but it is, if this is the theme of the show, I think that this would have been particularly chosen for a reason. So we all know that this is basically, from the perspective, I think this is actually based on a true book about a girl who was addicted to drugs in her teenage years, written like as diary entries. But it's also obviously referencing Alice in Wonderland, the idea of going down the rabbit hole. So it says, one pill makes you larger, one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. So that's interesting. The different pills doing different things to you. It has been mentioned in the past, the idea of taking pills is kind of like, going down a particular political avenue. Especially like the Matrix or the Matrix, as you say, in Dark, is definitely that's a theme in that show, and also in the film The Matrix, it's a theme, taking the pill and waking up. So taking pills, this is interesting. I do know that like they've said before, again to bang the drum, they said about Brexit in the past. So about this being some way related to Brexit. So therefore, the idea of taking a pill for Remain, taking a pill for Leave. Again, I think there is sort of themes there. Then it says, when she's 10 foot, go and ask Alice when she's 10 foot tall. So, go and ask her about these pills after she's already taken them. And she's, it's have a huge effect. And if you go chasing rabbits and you're going to fall, tell them a hookah smoking caterpillar has given you the call. Call Alice when she was just small. Okay, so chasing rabbits. This maybe just going down rabbit holes. Symbolism there. When she was just small, when the men on the chessboard get up and tell you where to go, and you've just had some kind of mushroom, and your mind is moving low. Go ask Alice. I think she'll know. So the idea of like the chessboard. I think that we have seen lots of like dark and light aspects in the show. We've seen characters joining the boat afterwards who wear all black. Potentially there is going to be the side versus side dynamic. Of course, we're going to have the rich versus the underclass. That's evident as well. So maybe this side versus side element that's going on is going to there's going to be one character, so potentially maybe Maura, who's on the outside of that. And like the idea of like these sides is kind of like a chessboard, but she operates with it outside the chessboard potentially. When logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead, and the White Knight is talking backwards, and the Red Queen's off with her head. Remember what the Dormouse said. Feed your head. Feed your head. Right. This is interesting. The last part is the most interesting part to me. And that is the fact that it's saying like when like the two sides, right? The White Knight and the Red Queen, they're talking backwards. Red Queen saying off with her head. That's making me think that, like, you know, whenever it goes mental, whenever both of the sides of the chessboard go down the extremes, just remember, feed your head, feed your head. It means educate yourself, maybe get therapy, maybe, you know, think of things from your own perspective. I don't know, but it means like don't get caught up in the side versus side element of it. I think that could be important symbolism. Anyway, just thought I'd have a wee chat about that. Now, feed your head, taking mushrooms, taking pills. Of course I have to bring up Maura in what looks like a mental institution, an asylum of some sort. I'm not quite sure. Now, I did mention there's going to be, at the very beginning, I put a little spoiler warning. One thing that I know, I haven't seen any of the show yet, but one thing I've seen, okay, so maybe skip the next 30 seconds if you don't want any stuff, right? So one thing that I've seen is that Maura is going to be being haunted by dreams of being in an asylum, I think. Well, I didn't say actually that it was being in an asylum, but that's what I assume this is. Now, that's interesting because it makes me start thinking about what's the twist of this show? There's going to be something happening in this show that's unexpected, right? So I'm starting to think about that, and I'm thinking potentially Maura. Okay, I'm going off the deep end very quickly here. I think that there is stuff adding up to this, right? But I think that Maura could potentially be dreaming the future. Like this hasn't happened to her yet. Maybe she's perplexed by it, a little bit like the film Arrival. Maybe this is going to happen after she's off the boat. But then again, obviously, we do see her with the scuffed wrists from the chair. So there is interest there. I will say, however, though, this chair seems to be very important because the thing is, on the premiere night, all of the actors were getting pictured with this chair, and the chair set was at the premiere, and that really got me thinking. And I started thinking to myself, potentially, maybe this show is going to reveal that the boat, okay, is not actually real, or maybe it is real, but actually they're remembering. Maybe they're channeling memories, or potentially they're channeling the future, or potentially they're just dreaming. There's a lot about dreaming in this show, because there's been a lot of hints to dreaming. So I think that potentially, now this is a harebrained, crazy theory, I think it might be revealed that they're all dreaming. Okay, and if I go back to the picture of Chang'e, this definitely implies to me, like, look, if you look at this picture, obviously she just looks vacant. Maybe she's, got her makeup off, but this could also be in a mental institution. This picture, it could be. So that makes me think, like, are they all in a mental institution? Are they all going through group therapy? She is being forced into this chair. We can see a picture of the actor Alexander Wilhelm with the apparatus on his face. So this is actually looks to be something that you're forcibly put into. Okay, as well as that. So there's a really, really weird Instagram that's been created, and it's called 9981 Kerberos, and that's implying that it's like backwards. It's 1899 backwards, which is mirroring things, which is interesting because we've seen that in Dark before. But there's also a part of the video. Let's see if I can get some noise here. So you can see there's like static going on. I'm going to talk about this video in particular in a minute, but that sort of thing that's popping up and they're showing that. This is obviously this is an official account. It's followed by the official Netflix account. Okay, so this is an official account, which makes me think, what's going on in these videos? Why are they releasing these videos with like static popping up and black stuff? This is obviously, I don't know if the show's going to have those exact images with the black stuff popping up, but I think it's showing us that these are incomplete images. Okay, there's something which isn't translating here, and I think therefore that potentially these people's dreams or their memories are being monitored, okay, by someone in the mental institution. Potentially, this is crazy harebrained. Again, it might be wrong, but I just wanted to sort of get it on paper as an idea before we continue with the show fully, because I think that there is a potential that that could be the twist. Like in Dark, the early twist was that it was about time travel. Or you didn't know it was about time travel. With all the trailers of the first season, you didn't know. So you knew there was going to be something potentially about like different time zone, timelines, or different, like, sort of when people were young, when people were old. You didn't know it was going to be about time travel. This show, I think I can say with hand on heart, I believe that this is going to have some sort of early twist that is going to blow our mind, or it's going to change the show. In like, so when Dark turned into a time travel show, it completely changed it. Okay, I think the same thing's going to happen. I think early on, this show is going to turn into something we don't think it is, and I think potentially that could be that they're all in a mental institution, having their memories looked at or having dreams looked at. Now, if we continue on down the rabbit hole, Naked Mole Rat on Reddit has found that by looking at the images of this sort of dining room, all of the people in the image are not reversed. All the people have their partings on the right side, their clothes are the right way around, everything's the same for the people. But if you look at the mural in the background, it's reversed. Therefore, we are seeing two versions of a ship mirrored, okay? So whether that's the Prometheus and the Kerberos, whether they are sister ships, which are perfect mirrors of each other, I don't know. Potentially is one. I did think very, very early on, okay? Very early, I'm talking 2 years ago, I had the thought that potentially these ships were the same ship, okay? Just one in the future, one in the past, and they eventually turn into the other one. I don't know how they would do that. Maybe they'd go through some portal or through some whirlpool or something which changes them. I don't know. But I think that could be potential. Okay, there is potential that these are the same ship, or they are sister ships. And there's lots of triangles going on, so who knows? There could be 3 ships. I don't know. Yeah, so there we go. That's my thoughts anyway. The big thing that I think that potentially we could be looking at some dream harvesting, or looking at dreams, or looking at how people think, and all that sort of stuff. Okay. All right. As well as that, they have released the names of the episodes. So the first one's called The Ship. We knew that already. So that's going to be sort of an introduction to the ship. Interestingly, in that first episode, they're going to get word that the Prometheus has been found, and therefore that would actually imply to me that the ship could refer to the missing ship, rather than the ship that they're on. I don't think we're going to get the big hurrah leaving Southampton or wherever we're leaving like we did in Titanic. I remember early on in my theorizing, I was saying, I'd love that. I'd love the first episode to be really upbeat. I don't think we're going to get that. I think it's going to be pretty down from the start. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. The next one's called The Boy. So obviously that's the one where they potentially go onto the Prometheus, get the boy. So yeah. Then we have The Fog. Are they going to get lost? It would imply they're going to get lost to me. If there's a really big fog, would compasses stop working? I don't know, but we'll see. That's the fog. Then we got the fight. This might be like the uprising of the underclass to sort of fight against going to what they're doing. Like they might see the effects of the Prometheus happening to them, and they want to sort of go straight to New York. Let's go. That could be why the fight happens. Then we have the 5th one called The Calling. This is a really interesting thing, especially considering you've got Jerome and Oleg here. I don't really know what they're being called to do. Yeah, so interesting here. That this one's really baffled me, to be honest with you. The pyramid. The pyramids, again, the choice of picture here is interesting. There is a bit of fuzz going on. Are they holding the pyramid down there, or are they just holding hands? Is this the priest confiding in this other religious man? Both religious, so we'll wait and see what happens. Obviously, the pyramid we have seen before, that I suspect could be sort of, some sort of Philosopher's Stone analog, potentially, who knows. And then we've also got the Storm. That's number 7, the Storm. Again, could they get lost in the storm? Is that where they go down the whirlpool? Who knows? And then the last one's going to be called the Key. Now, this is interesting because, as many people notice straight away, the word key is an anagram of Ike, and Ike is the name of Andreas Peachman's character. Now, is it that simple? Is he the key? Is he the key to it all? It is an interesting thing. I will say that in the background of this image, I have talked about before in the videos that's Hercules, and then we've also seen from TD Siago on Reddit that it potentially could be Nyx as well. Nyx being the goddess of night. Now, is this image here the key? Is the key actually the relationship between these two people, Maura and Ike? Is that the key? Is it not just Ike? Isn't just the key? Is it both of them? Are they on this mural because they actually are the key to it all? The key to what? I have no idea, but the key to it all. Alright, so I thought I'd take a look at this video on Instagram in a bit more detail. First of all, this looks like an absolute nightmare. I mean, I know they're actors, have fun, I know, but I know there. There's Yan making a good fun, yeah. But like, to be honest with you, I don't know. Maybe this is because I'm at home, lazy, just wanting to watch TV. The idea of dancing slowly in front of a camera really gets me. Right, okay, this bit here. This is the important part. I couldn't figure out what they were saying to each other here, but I think they're acting out a part of the show here. Maybe not for their characters, but they're taking the piss out of someone else from a different part. I thought that was pretty obvious. Here's what I'm talking about. All the actors just like posing with this chair. And you can see the head part of the chair up there as well, like where they strap the head in. This event looks really lush, doesn't it? All right, load of triangles. This is the maps. We see the machine. Yeah, just more stuff. Now this, I need to pause this. I need to pause this if I can. See this here? A massive pyramid made of that stone. Now, okay. I predicted that we were going to have the whirlpool and the rocks. Did I not? In this video right here. So, and I was talking about like, maybe we're not going to have legitimate rocks. What is this? What on earth is this? Is my between a rock and a hard place, between the whirlpool and the rock, actually going to be physical in the show? I was blown away when I saw this. Because I thought to myself, have I literally hit on something? Because I could be making these videos and hitting on nothing, but that actually gave me hope. So if you haven't seen that video, go and check it out, because there's a fair bit of symbolism and analogy there that I thought might come to fruition. And this massive rock means we might actually get the rock in the whirlpool from the Greek myth. Oh, go watch the video if you haven't seen it. Okay, so then we go through there. More of this stuff. I honestly have no idea about that sort of stuff. There was a little flash there. Let's see if I can pause it. Oh, it's just a flash of the sort of steering room. I don't know. Anyway, I think most of this is just going to be them having fun from now on, which I don't want to watch. Don't want to watch people having fun. I want to watch people scared out of their mind on a boat in the year 1899. Mission accomplished. Well, I wouldn't say mission accomplished. It's not been released yet. But if you're proud of it, that's good, because it means it's probably going to be a good show. Okay, so that's that one. Let's move on to the next. All right, so this one is from the 9981 Instagram. And you can see it's the boy who is there's like a knock on the door. And he's looking very perturbed, scared, looking at it. Someone opens the door. We don't see who. It's sort of blocking that out on us. He picks up something from the floor. Now, there is a little bit there. Let me see. Can I pause this? Let me see. I might have missed it. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to see. This thing he's holding does not look like the pyramid we've seen him holding before. It doesn't look like it's a little stone. I think go and watch this video on the Instagram 9981 yourself. I think Now, this might be mental, but I think I did read somewhere that there might be something like this. I don't know. Don't give any spoilers in the comments, obviously, but this looks like a little spider or something. Like, when he picked it up, I saw it standing up in his hand. I think this is like some sort of little beastie. That rings a bell for some reason. I tried to avoid any spoiler reviews, but that rings a bell. I think there was a review which everyone was saying, which was really negative to the show, and everyone was saying, this is only after the Toronto International Film Festival, I think, and everyone was saying that, don't listen to the review because it's negative. But I think there was something mentioned about like a little mechanical something or other in that, and I think that's what we're seeing here. I think it is. So go and zoom in that yourselves if you want to see that. But I think there might be something like that here. And then he looks up. I didn't actually catch what was said here, but he shakes his head. So I don't really know what's going on. Maybe have you found out what's happening? I don't know. I honestly don't know that part. Who's he talking to, though? It looks like someone who sort of gave him a mission or someone who he's afraid of. Is that Anton Lesser's character? I'm not sure. On to the next. So this one seems to take place in like a mess hall or something like that. And it's a little girl who I believe is part of the Danish family. Says in Danish something to the effect of, I've always wanted to be a doctor like you when I grow up. And then they touch Maura's belly and ask, do you have any children? Or Maura says, no, I've never been able to do that. And then Cresta there holds out his hands. Please, sir, can I have some more? Don't know what's going on. Maura is completely freaked out. I think potentially there might be a lot of trauma for her in the fact that she can't have children. She feels very overwhelmed by that. So therefore, I think that maybe she'll need to get that seen to. Now, if our old theory about the therapy / looking into her dreams is going on, potentially that's what she's trying to get to the bottom of in terms of her trauma. They all have traumatic pasts, so we have been told that. This little girl here, I think this is the girl that's gonna die. I think this potentially could be the girl that's gonna die, and that makes sense to me because the thing is, she's talking about what she wants to be when she grows up. When have we ever seen a child character talk about what they want to be when they grow up who didn't turn TD bread very quickly? I think this might be the child who we've seen being carried down the corridor, dead or unconscious or what, I don't know. But potentially, this could be it. Next up, we have Maura going through the boy's stuff while he's asleep. Or is he asleep? We'll find out. Again, we get all this static stuff popping up on the screen. I think this really does sort of allude to the idea that this is being viewed, or it's been misremembered or something. It's not complete. Taking something out of it. Is that little spidery thing again? I don't know. Taken out of his bag. As well as that, there's another little thing. Don't know what it is. Being blocked out, being taken out of the bag, as well. More just going through it all. Now this is the bit here. Oh, what do you see? Not asleep at all. So that is creepy. The boy really seems an ominous character. The boy is really hiding something, and I'm really looking forward to Ike shaking him to find out what's going on there. But another really interesting video. All right, so this one's a bit weird. Do you experience anything strange? What do you mean strange? And then while it's saying that, there's like a logbook here, and the logbook has little parts like numbers turning into triangles. Okay, so like the Earth symbol. Now I will say this particular logbook here, log of the Kerberos, it's logging things like the barometer, height in inches, temperature. It's logging that, air dry bulb, air wet bulb. State of the weather by symbols, forms of clouds by symbols. Now the fact that, let's go back and see that again, what they say. So, did you experience anything strange? Now, that voice could be Anton Lesser. I know you can't hear the voice, but go and watch the video yourself. 9981 Kerberos on Spotify. On Spotify. It's like I'm talking to Alexa. Alexa, play 9981 on Spotify. No. It's on Instagram. But did you experience anything strange? Could be Anton Lesser's voice. It definitely seems that sounds. Could even be Andreas Peachman actually. But this sounds to me like it's a doctor talking to. Then Maura says, "What do you mean by strange? Has she just woken up and this logbook is actually logging each time she goes into the dream? Is this logging like what the clouds look like, what the weather look like? Are they looking for clues within her dreams?" This is another thing that's making me think that way. Okay? Another thing that's making me think that way. But anyway, guys, I could sit here for hours and go on about every little detail. I mean, there's even videos or, text and dialogue from the characters on that 9981 video, or that Instagram, that I'm not going to go through because there's just so much stuff to go through. And I've just been going over things, very very fine details here, not even actually going deep into this stuff, and I've already got like a 35-40 minute video. So you can imagine how much stuff's going through my head. I think it's at this point that I am going to say to myself, I've done enough. I've been theorizing about this show for 2 years now. I do have high expectations for it, but at the same time, I'm also someone who's able to manage my expectations. I love Dark. Dark's my favorite show of all time. I'm not expecting this to be my new favorite show of all time, okay? I have a lot of... I view it like this, right? There's no director in the world who I think every single film they've ever made is the best film they've ever made. There's no artist who every single piece of music they put out that I think is the best piece of music they've ever put out. I will say, though, there are artists that I like every album of theirs, and there are directors that I like every film of theirs. Will they all be dark? No, but I'm going to enjoy it, I hope. So that's my expectations, and I'm looking forward to the puzzle. They're sort of daring us to solve this puzzle. I've really enjoyed doing it pre the release of the show, and I'm really looking forward to doing it after the release of the show. So again, stick around for more. We've got a load of 1899 stuff coming, as well as a load of other stuff as well. Conrad and I are always thinking about new stuff for the channel. So please subscribe and join us on this journey. Thanks very much. Bye.